All right, so we're here to talk about these new features from Blab. We've got Jonas with us, who's one of the developers, I think the developer who's released this stuff today. So there's two new things I want to talk about. One is the ability to now send directly to YouTube as soon as you finish your broadcast. In fact, if you go back and look at any of your old broadcasts, you can send all of them to YouTube now. And the other thing was the questions and at mentions filter in the comments, which we've been waiting for ages, which is a really exciting development. So welcome, Jonas. Thanks for coming along. It's just really serendipitous that you turned up I guess you were looking for people maybe noticing the new features?
No. I mean, I just saw it basically pop up on Twitter, and I thought, oh, I want to see what people think about them so far.
So how long has it been released?
I lose track of time. I think about 2 days now.
Oh, really?
So it's like it's the filter for the comments that you were talking about. Actually, for now, is only available to hosts. So that's why not everyone has seen them yet, because for now we just released that for the hosts. Same thing with like the send to YouTube button, which obviously is only available if you have any replays that are on your profile or that you hosted, because it doesn't really make sense to provide a button for everyone to upload like someone else's content to their YouTube channel, right? So so it's both of these features are in a state where not everyone has gotten to see them yet, because not everyone hosts Blabs all the time. So
yeah, I thought I'd had a look at my Blabs yesterday, and I didn't notice this send to YouTube button there yesterday.
It was in yesterday. It was definitely in yesterday, like afternoon. With the YouTube button, basically it's the same thing happens as if you download the video for yourself and then re-upload it to YouTube, which you could always do. We just made it easier by like now you can just click the button and we'll do it for you, essentially. So
yeah, it is a really good feature, and you know, you immediately you think, well, you know, we could always do this, as you just said. We could just always have taken that, and it's really there's no real shortcut, because it's like, okay, it's just a few less clicks, but you know, I think a lot of people have just not gone that extra step of uploading it to YouTube because they don't see any benefit, because Blab already hosts it for us.
Right. It's also it's more of a feture that's basically just for people who want to repurpose their content. Like there's the same thing. It's the same reasoning behind it as why do we provide like an embed feature, so you can embed on your own site. So even though it's hosted on Blab in that case, you can just embed it to your site, and you can repurpose the content for other stuff.
I know. I keep saying to people, there's 3 things Blab sends you in an email, and everyone forgets to mention the most exciting third one. They always jump up and down about the audio file and the video file being sent to them. But to me, I always say that the most exciting thing that Blab sends you is the embed code, because that means they're hosting the video for you, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just grab that embed code. Within 30 seconds, you've got it on your web page, and you can walk away happy. But sorry, Pensive jumps in here and he says, can we save old Blabs that way too? Yes, you can. As long as you've got old broadcasts that are sitting there, you can just hit that button. As long as
you, as long as it's recorded, like as long as it was on the record and you were the host, you will be able to see you will see the button on it.
Yeah, excellent. So, you know, because this has been one of the things that people have been saying. It's like, oh, I'm not going to go on Blab and have, you know, all the stuff just go to Blab. I have a thing on YouTube where I'm making money. My partner, I want to, you know, get some money mileage out of it.
And the other thing really is that like if you already have a following on YouTube and you're producing content on Blab because it makes it easy to produce content, but you also want to like the following that you already have to see that content, this just makes it easier to do that, right? Because you can't, let's say you don't have a website, but you have a YouTube channel. Like if you have a website, it's really easy to embed the Blab player basically onto that website for the replay. If you don't have a website, but you have you're popular on YouTube, or you just have like you don't even like not even popular, but like you have a following on YouTube, it makes it would make sense for you to be able to then publish the same content to YouTube, like in an easy way as well. So that's the main reasoning there.
Yeah, but you know, someone I am socially Nina, so I guess it's Nina, says the only issue that I have with that is most of us do a lot of editing before we upload to YouTube.
Right.
So we still need to download, and you know, that's true.
That's obviously. I mean, like the thing is, the good thing there is that you actually have an easy way of getting the file because you do get that email, and of course, if you want to do editing before you upload it somewhere, then you will have like there's right now there isn't really a way for us to allow you to edit within Blab, basically. It's something that would be interesting to look at some point, but it's just not the most pressing concern right now, right? So
yeah, and I was just going to say that one of the fantastic things about Blab that people get excited about when they learn this is that you can pause the recording while you're going. Yes. So there is this aspect of live editing, almost you could consider it.
Right, it is, and we're gonna be adding more features towards that purpose of like being able to mark specific spots in the recording, basically, to be able to annotate stuff. All that stuff is coming at some point. We're adding that in.
Right.
So you could basically the thing that we're aiming for with the recording is with the replay is that it should be easy for the host or even for co-hosts at some point to not have to edit afterwards. Essentially, like get the whole editing process out of there. You just get like you just annotate. You just like pause whenever. Like if I had to go to the restroom right now, you could pause the recording and we could restart afterwards. We wouldn't have to you wouldn't have to cut that out later. Like we do that. We already do that for you, basically.
Yeah. When I first noticed this morning, this ability to send to YouTube directly, and I told someone about it, the first thing they said was, "Oh yeah, but you know, I want to be able to edit it." And you know, that's something that exactly was my response was, well, you can, and it's very useful to annotate or to put in time links, shortcuts to the individual aspect anywhere in the video. So if there's something that happened at 15 minutes 30 seconds, you can actually just put in that time link there.
Yeah, and the idea there would be to, as the host, be able to mark that time basically, and after the Blab actually finishes, after you end the Blab, you would then be able to see like this is the annotation, and we'd be able to provide you with some data about like this is right after person X joined the conversation, basically, or like we give you some data around like what could have been like we pre-fill the field basically for you, and then you would be able to change it and like change it into make the annotation that you want at that point, basically, right? So like that's the kind of the idea of like, or at least that's in my mind how it should work. We haven't built it yet because there's other stuff that we need that is a little bit more pressing to do first. But something along these lines will be available at some point to hosts. So yeah.
That sounds really exciting. I can't wait. And people in the comments are saying, yeah, that's unbelievable.
Did you see the feature that what happens if you hover over when someone favorites something in the chat? When you hover over that star?
No, what happens?
Did you see that? So like when I favorite Nina's comment just down there, hover over the little star, and it'll actually now tell you who favorited it.
Excellent.
Which it's just nice to know that, for example, like even if the host can't respond to every single question or every single comment in the chat, being able to see that, for example, the host or one of the hosts has seen your comment or has read it, and not just like arbitrarily think that maybe they saw it or maybe someone else clicked that, or so just being able to see who favorited something in chat is like a neat little update that actually helps out a ton. So.
It's actually very obvious because intuitively I've been doing that anyways, like hovering over and not
Right.
getting that information
Right.
and expecting it. So I think that is going to be very easily welcomed by a lot of people.
Yeah.
I see though there's another one there, a triangle. What is that? A block or
so
a delete the comment?
triangle? Yeah, you again. This is again a feature that you see as a host. You can, as a host and as an admin, obviously, but like as a host, you can, which is it's basically the same icon as the report icon. On when you, as a host, you can report people, right, for doing something that you don't want them to do in your Blab, because this is like your room. You make the rules here. You can, by clicking that button, you can just remove that comment, basically. So,
and it flags it as well.
It doesn't, like right now, that doesn't get flagged. It literally just removes it.
Okay.
And I don't think there even is a confirmation on it. Let me check this. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I'm
going to do some live testing here and remove my comment. Nope. There's like no confirmation on that even.
I was afraid to click on it because of that. I didn't.
Right. So like you don't want to click that. Maybe I should add some. Maybe I should maybe I'll add some confirmation to that as well. But it's kind of like when chats get just very spammy, or someone made a really rude comment or something, you should be able to remove them, right?
So guys, just in the audience there is some questions flying by. I've missed a couple. I'm going to scroll back and get them. But, this is actually a feature that I wanted to talk about, is that if you are prefacing your questions with /Q, as I Am Socially Nina is doing here, to get that question highlight there, it means that as a host, I can just click on a little filter button at the top, which is questions and me. And it'll filter out everything else other than the questions. So that makes it very handy for me to address your questions. So if I have missed them, there's a way around that. But I did see one flash by. It's a little bit unrelated, but I do feel for the Android users. They said, will there be an Android? What was the exact question? See, again, I can't filter it because they didn't preface it. But basically, will there be an Android version soon?
So soon in Blab terms, yes. Android, I won't be working on it because I'm a front-end web developer, so I build all this web stuff. But our CTO is really, really adamant about building a Android version. He loves Android. So he really wants that as well. So it will definitely happen. I don't have a time frame that I can give you. I don't really have a time frame for anything that I can really give you, because it's really like it's more along the lines, we'll get it out as soon as we have it, right? So we want to build all that stuff, but we kind of like every day or every week we say, like we look at where we are, what's the most important thing that we need to build, and that gets built first. And the Android app, the web app does work on Android on the Chrome browser. It's not the best experience, and we're trying to optimize that more to make it more usable, like to make the web app more usable on Android phones. But there will definitely be an Android app at some point. It's just you have to kind of focus on something. Like you can't just say like we're going to build everything straight away. So
I didn't actually notice that yesterday. A tweet came up. I clicked the tweet, the link in the tweet, and it opened it up in the browser. I was wondering why it didn't give me the option to open up in the Blab app.
On your iPhone, you clicked a link.
On my iPad, yeah.
On your iPad, I think on the iPad, I'm not sure how it works. On the iPhone, that should work. It should just open, if you have the app installed, it should just open it in the app, or ask you to open it in the app rather. On iPad, we're not optimized for iPad at the moment. So like, first of all, the experience on iPad is probably not going to be that great, because yes, the app works because it's the same code, but it's just not optimized for the size of the iPad. So it will just maybe look off basically, which is something that we'll fix at some point as well. But again, there's more important things to fix in the iOS version as well.
Yeah, it's just why I was a little bit curious, because why would it treat the iPad differently? Because it's really just an iPhone app that's on double size.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be any difference. Some other questions here is just getting back to some of the earlier questions. Will the stars be in the analytics at some point?
First of all, we need analytics, right? So before we can, like, I can tell you, like, will the stars be in the analytics? We need to build the analytics first, which we are working on right now. That's one of the next things that's coming. Like on the ending page, you will be able to see who actually watched your Blab, who watched your replay even as well. As the host, you'll be able to leave. And I don't have like a design that I can just show off here right now, but as a host, you'll actually be able to leave something like a description for this Blab, like a more, so when people come to the replay site, they can see what the host said about the Blab, basically. You'll be able to leave the host feedback after the Blab. So like, you'll be able to like write a comment to the host that will be private, that only the host will be able to see.
Where will the host see that?
On the replay page.
Right.
So if you go back to your replay, you'll have like you'll have this have two different interfaces, basically, either if you're a host or if you're a viewer, and depending on if you're the host or if you're the viewer, you'll see different data, basically, right? You'll see how many people watched your replay, how many people watched it live versus how many people watched your replay. What did people say that watched it live? What did people say that watched it in the replay? All those kind of things you'll be able to see.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yep. Some more questions. The next. Go on.
I saw some. Sorry for just cutting you off. I saw something by Paul there in the chat. When a link is posted in the comments in the iPhone app, the Twitter reply hover blocks the link sometimes. Yes. I think like I don't work on the iOS app, so I'm not 100% sure the way that it works. But first of all, that's getting fixed. We know about it, and second of all, I think you have to hit the link basically right on the link in order for it to work, and then the link should work. It's kind of tricky and it's not a good experience, so we're fixing it. But it does work. It's just very tricky to actually hit the link like in the right way, basically, for it to open. And by the way, I will have to run here in a second.
Okay.
But let's maybe do like a last question or something.
All right. Final question. I'll just grab one at random. Is there a way for the host to download all the comments and all the views after the show is over?
That's a request that we've been getting quite a lot, actually, and it's something that will come. That is something that we want to do. Right now, the best way that you can actually we can do this, so we can give you like a text file basically of all the comments. Right now, there's two ways really. First of all, it's implemented now that if you scroll back up in the chat, and this should work. You will be able to scroll back up till the very beginning of the chat. So you'll actually be able to scroll back in time, basically, because we only ever show like a limited amount of comments, because otherwise with a lot of comments, the app breaks if it's like thousands and thousands of comments. But you will be able to scroll back now and see all of them. The other thing is if there's a good reason for you to like want to have all the comments as a text file, like please don't do this for every Blab, but you can let us know that you want all the comments for it, and if there's a good reason, we'll provide it as a text file for you. So right now, but the problem with that is right now we have to do that manually. So yes, there should be a way at some point to automatically be able to do that, to automatically be able to export it. We're thinking about it. But again, it's one of these features where it's not like I'm just guessing here, but I think like 90% of hosts don't actually need this feature. It's especially once you see who participated in the Blab on the new stats page. Like it's more relevant to see who was watching and who was participating that way, rather than actually having all the comments. Unless there's a really good reason for you to have all the comments, maybe like you were asked a bunch of questions, you couldn't get to them all, and you want to answer those questions later on Twitter or somewhere else, or in another Blab, and you want to have like a list of them. That would be a good reason for us to just export it for you, so you can then do that. Again, like it's something that we should probably automate at some point and give the hosts access to. For now, the easiest way, if you want to make it easy on us, is to just go through the comments, go to the page, and just scroll up, and it'll keep loading more and more comments as you scroll up.
Yeah, I tried to save them yesterday because there was a chat I was in. It was really active. I didn't get a chance to copy down some of the URLs. There was about 6 URLs in the chats that people had posted, and I needed to get to them. So
yeah,
that was handy. It was only because I left the Blab open that I was able to do that. Pensive is also saying it would be great if the chat just came along in a text file, just along with the audio and the video.
Right. So that's basically what I'm saying. Like. Yeah. Like there are some things to consider, and with that, where we still have to think about it. But like for now, to me, it makes sense that we would just give you that as well, just add it. Like it hasn't been decided yet, and we just haven't built it yet. But to me, it makes sense. There's some discussion that we need to have before we actually build it, and also it's really more about. Is this the most pressing thing that we need to build? And right now, it's not. Like it's just like there are other things that we feel will have a bigger positive impact that we can build in the same time, basically.
Yeah, it's just a matter of prioritizing everything, isn't it? There's so much to do. So,
okay. I'm going to jump out. Thanks for having me on, Vin. This like super impromptu. Update of like the 2-3 new things that we built. I'm gonna go and do some work now and actually build some new features that you can talk about later. Excellent.
So I do want to just thank you so much for coming on, Jonas. Like you said, it was such a serendipitous thing. I just saw the feature myself. I thought I got a Blab about this. You saw the tweet and jumped in. So, that's just one of the things about Blab, isn't it? That this always happens where you just throw something out there and you attract all the right people, and we can have a great discussion. So thanks again. And
thanks so much.
I'll hear more about the new updates in the future.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. So if anyone else wants to jump in, they can do that. I saw Kathleen, you were trying to jump in. Anyone else? I will do a recap for you. If anyone has, I'll just skim through these questions, see if there's anything I'm able to answer. Most of these were for Jonas. But if anyone's trying to get in, can you please tell me? Because I've seen some people attempt to get in, and the attempt has disappeared before I've got a chance to hit click yes. So the features were, I'll come back to the comments in a second. Yeah, thanks, Michael. So I'm just about to recap. So what happened was, and I'll come back and respond to your comments in a second. So what happened was this morning I just opened the Blab and I went to look at some of my old broadcasts, and I noticed there was this big red button on underneath where it says play. Now you can just hit this big red button and it sends the video to YouTube. So those people who have said that they want to monetize their Blabs because they make money on YouTube through advertising, then now they can do that just with a click of a button after the broadcast has ended. I know it's only really a small shortcut because you could always just take the video that Blab sent you and upload to YouTube anyway. But it's still a good feature to speed up your processes by just clicking on that one button. Jonas did say actually that they are going to be bringing in in the future the ability to edit the video, because I was pointing out how we also already have the ability to sort of almost live edit in the sense that we can pause while we're recording, but they're going to be adding more abilities to do that, and do watch the replay if you want to know all about that. So the other thing that I noticed this morning before starting this hangout was up on the chat. Oh, sorry, up on that side, isn't it? Up on the chat, we now have the ability to filter. So I can just filter straight to your comments, and so that I see nothing else other than @mentions of my name and comments. So if someone's talking directly to me by saying @Intuitive in a comment, I'll see it. Or if they've used the /Q to ask a question at the preface of their comment, then that also shows. And that's a very handy way, because I can now come back and look at your comments. And so I'll just have a look at them. Kathleen says, can I do a recap? I'm doing that now. Looking forward to be able to edit the comments eventually in the comment stream. Can't Blab just send text file? Yep, that would be great. Pensive said, yes, we've asked that one. So I think all the questions got asked. Maybe I missed one. What about the length of the video restrictions on YouTube? Can you tell me what that length is, Cherie? I don't know off the top of my head what the restrictions for YouTube videos are. I know there is length at some point, but I've seen some very long videos on YouTube that go for many hours. So the restriction must be very large. Sure, people do sending comments with files to YouTube would be sweet. Just correcting the typos on the fly as I read them. Yeah, that would be really cool. So I'm really curious if people try to get into this seat but are unable to. It's just that I've seen a couple of people attempt to and not being successful. Anyway, those are some of the new features. Jonas did give us quite a new, a bit of a look at some of the new features that are coming as well that we haven't yet seen. So I'm just looking, you've got a few more comments there. Yeah, always impressed with Blab's focus on innovation for sure. 15 minutes? No. The limitations of YouTube videos are not 15 minutes. Well, I'm pretty sure they're not. So anyway, that has been all of the new features. I won't draw this out any longer than needs to. Like I said, how's Blab going to make money? They're not. They don't need to. They have no intentions of making any money. It's not even on their radar. So whenever people keep asking that, I just say, look, we're not interested in money, so don't. It's not even a question that we need to be worried about. They have a lot of funding. Owner of Bebo, I think, funds them. So yeah, it's not an issue. Yeah, you're saying, Cherie, that it was notified for me that it's 15 minutes. I've never seen that, and that must be a new thing if that's true. Yeah. The boss has lots of cash, says Video Alchemy. Yeah, it's funded for 20 months cycle. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going to happen after that 20 months, but 20 months is a long time. It's been around for already only a couple of months, 3 months or something, and it feels like a year. Probably sell ads. Who knows? I mean, we're just guessing at this point, aren't we? No, you're welcome. Like I said, I'm just trying to wrap it up here. I don't want to really waste time any longer than I need to. We have covered all of the updates. If you want to see what those updates were, do watch the replay. That's why I'm going to keep it short here, because it makes watching the replay a lot easier. Thanks for everyone for sharing this with your viewers, and thanks for tweeting it out and sticking with it. And thanks for your questions too. Oh, Sean said that the ads are a possibility. I guess anything's possible. You never say never, do you? Yeah, thanks, guys. This has been another Blab by Intuitive. If you want to know more, do come and have a look at my live streaming page. I'll type it in here even for you. It's Vintuitive. That's like intuitive with a V. .com/live streaming. I'll make a redirect so that you just have to go vintuitive.com/live in future. But do go there and have a look at some of the future things. I'm going to be interviewing Robert Stern in an hour from now. We're going to be doing that over on Robert's channel with Libby Gleason. That's going to be a lot of fun. So do come in and go and have a look at Robert Stern's Blab page for the upcoming schedule. Like I say, it's 1 hour from now. We're going to have some fun with Robert. It's just a general conversation. So come along about social media and using it for promotion. So anyway, guys, thanks. And I'll see you again on the flip side.